This is the Sleep Story Temple, where the brain finds rest in perfection. Tonight, we step inside a temple built on the golden ratio. Science shows that the human brain craves symmetry and patterns to feel safe. By visualizing the flower of life and the infinite spirals of the Fibonacci sequence, we lock the wandering mind into a state of hypnotic calm. This is a journey through the blueprint of creation, where the chaos of the world is replaced by the silent mathematics of peace. Leave the unpredictable world outside. Here, everything adds up. Everything makes perfect sense. Your mind is a brilliant, restless engine. It is accustomed to the heavy labor of overthinking. All day long, you have been acting as the architect of your own waking life, constantly editing the script of your day, analyzing the variables, searching for the hidden errors, and trying to impose a sense of structure on a fundamentally chaotic world. When you close your eyes, that analytical engine does not simply shut off. It continues to spin, looking for problems to solve, interfaces to design, and patterns to arrange. Tonight, we are not going to fight your analytical mind. We are not going to force it into an unnatural, empty silence. Instead, we are going to give it exactly what it craves. We are going to give it absolute, flawless perfection. Look out into the dark space of your mind's eye. You are standing in the center of a vast, cool desert at midnight. The sand beneath your feet is not blowing or shifting. It is perfectly smooth, resembling a sea of fine, dark silver under a moonless sky. The air is incredibly crisp and entirely still. There is no unpredictable weather here. There is no sudden noise. Rising majestically out of the flat, silver sand directly in front of you is a colossal structure. It is the Gateway of Phi. This is not a crumbling ruin of a forgotten civilization, nor is it a chaotic, sprawling city of the modern world. It is a monument of pure, unyielding mathematics. The gateway is constructed from massive, seamless blocks of pale, smooth sandstone. Even in the dim starlight, the stone seems to emit a faint, internal luminescence. Look at the shape of the structure. You do not need a ruler or a calculator to understand it. Your brain instinctively recognizes the proportions. It is built upon the golden ratio, the sacred geometry of 1 to 1.618. It is the exact mathematical blueprint that dictates the spiral of a galaxy, the curve of a nautilus shell, and the unrolling of a fern leaf. When the human eye encounters this proportion, it does not have to work to process it. The visual cortex relaxes immediately. The geometry signals to your nervous system that this space is naturally correct. It is structurally sound. It is deeply, fundamentally safe. Walk slowly toward the massive, pale stone. As you draw closer, you notice that the gateway is not entirely bare. Etched into the surface of the sandstone are incredibly fine, precise lines. They are filled with a liquid, glowing gold that softly pulses in the dark. These golden lines map out the geometry of the gate. They form perfect right angles, flawless sweeping arcs, and interlocking triangles. Stand before the entrance. Run your hand over the cool, smooth stone. Feel the exact, flawless precision of the golden lines beneath your fingertips. In the waking world, nothing is ever truly perfect. There is always a flaw, a margin of error, a crack in the foundation, a mistake waiting to be corrected. Your brain is exhausted from constantly scanning for those mistakes. But here, standing before the Gateway of Phi, you can finally lay that burden down. There are no errors here. There is not a single millimeter of stone out of place. There is no asymmetrical flaw for your mind to fixate upon. Feel the profound, washing relief of that realization. Your brain, which has been searching for a problem to solve all day, suddenly realizes that the puzzle is already complete. The math is already solved. Take a slow, deep breath of the crisp desert air. Inhale. Draw the cool, predictable stillness into your lungs. Exhale. Let out a long, heavy sigh of relief. You do not need to edit this place. You do not need to manage it, optimize it, or fix it. You only need to witness it. The heavy, invisible burden of decision-making slides effortlessly off your shoulders. The unpredictable chaos of human emotion, the tangled web of daily anxieties, and the exhausting friction of the modern world cannot cross this threshold. They are too messy. They are too asymmetrical. They simply do not fit through the perfect proportions of the gate. Look through the massive archway. Beyond the threshold lies the golden labyrinth, a sanctuary of silent, echoing peace, where every corridor and every chamber is designed to lull your active mind into a state of hypnotic rest. The structure is waiting to hold you. Lift your foot from the silver sand. Step over the flawless, golden line of the threshold. Step out of the chaos and enter the absolute order of the temple. You step fully through the massive sandstone archway. The crisp, open air of the desert is instantly replaced by the cool, perfectly regulated atmosphere of the temple. You have entered the first chamber of the Golden Labyrinth. You are standing at the beginning of the Hall of Symmetry. Look down at the floor beneath your feet. It is not made of rough stone or uneven tile. It is an endless expanse of black, highly polished obsidian. It is so flawlessly smooth that it acts as a perfect, dark mirror. It reflects the exact geometry of the arches above, creating an illusion of infinite depth beneath your feet. There is no dust upon this floor. There are no scuff marks, no cracks, and no imperfections. It is a surface of absolute, unblemished clarity. Look up from the dark mirror. To your left and to your right, rising directly from the obsidian, are rows of pristine, white marble arches. They stretch forward into the dim distance, perfectly and evenly spaced. They recede toward a distant vanishing point that feels both infinite and incredibly safe. Listen to the acoustics of this space. The waking world is filled with overlapping, unpredictable noise that forces your nervous system into a state of constant alert. But the sound inside the temple is highly organized. Somewhere deep within the labyrinth, a heavy crystal bowl is humming. It vibrates continuously at 432 hertz, the mathematical frequency of natural harmonics. It is a low, rolling, oceanic vibration. You do not just hear it. You feel it pressing gently against the center of your chest, establishing a slow, baseline rhythm for your resting body. Begin to walk forward. As your foot meets the obsidian floor, it creates a crisp, rhythmic sound. Step, echo, step, echo. The sound travels down the vast corridor and returns to you with absolute mathematical precision. It is entirely predictable. This slow, returning echo acts as an acoustic metronome, gently coaxing your racing heart to slow down and match its unhurried pace. Look down at the floor just ahead of you. Embedded deep within the dark obsidian is a single, incredibly thin line of glowing gold. It runs straight down the exact center of the corridor, stretching all the way to the vanishing point. This is your path. In the waking world, you are exhausted by the burden of navigation. You are constantly forced to make decisions, weigh variables, and choose directions, terrified of making a mistake. But here, there are no variables. There is no guesswork. You do not have to choose. You only have to follow the golden line. As you walk the center line, look at the marble arches to your left, and then look at the arches to your right. They are absolute, flawless mirror images of one another. In your daily life, your consciousness is often deeply asymmetrical. Your left hemisphere, the logical, calculating, worrying engine works overtime, frantically trying to control the unpredictable world. Meanwhile, your right hemisphere is suppressed or overwhelmed by the emotional exhaustion of the day. This creates an invisible, exhausting tilt in your mind, a heavy imbalance that makes it impossible to rest. But here, surrounded by perfect symmetry, your brain cannot maintain that tilt. As your visual cortex processes the flawless mirror of the left and the right, it begins to force the two hemispheres of your brain into a state of deep synchronization. The frantic, jagged beta waves of your analytical mind begin to smooth out, matching the calm, rolling alpha waves of your resting mind. The left and the right stop fighting. They align. Feel this profound mental symmetry transfer directly into your physical body. You carry the uneven weight of the day in your muscles. You favor one side, you clench one side of your jaw, you raise one shoulder higher than the other to brace against your stress. Let the geometry of the hall correct you. Focus on your left shoulder. Feel the tight, pulling tension suddenly release, dropping the shoulder heavily downward. Instantly, feel the exact same release mirror itself in your right shoulder. They drop together. They are perfectly level. Feel the muscles on the left side of your spine uncoil and flatten against the mattress. Feel the muscles on the right side of your spine mirror that exact relaxation. Your body is physically aligning itself to the architecture of the temple. Step, echo, step, echo. You are walking in perfect equilibrium. The chaotic, lopsided weight of your waking anxiety has been distributed so evenly across your awareness that it now weighs absolutely nothing. Your mind has stopped searching for errors because there are no errors to find. The math is perfect. Ahead of you, the golden line on the floor gently ends at the edge of a wide, circular platform. The Hall of Symmetry has balanced your mind. It is time to leave the horizontal plane. It is time to begin the descent. You reach the edge of the circular platform at the end of the Hall of Symmetry. The golden line embedded in the dark obsidian floor ends here, terminating exactly at the precipice of a great descent. You are standing at the top of a magnificent, sweeping spiral staircase. Look down into the vast, open space below. The staircase is not made of the dark obsidian of the hall. It is carved from pure, cool, unblemished white marble. It glows softly in the ambient, quiet light of the temple. But notice the shape of the spiral. It is not a tight, frantic, dizzying corkscrew. it is a golden spiral. It curves downward with exquisite, flawless grace, following the exact mathematical proportions of the Fibonacci sequence. As the staircase descends deeper and deeper into the quiet earth, the arc of the spiral naturally widens. It expands. It opens up. In your waking life, anxiety feels like a tight, rapidly spinning circle inside your chest. It is a loop that gets faster and smaller until you can hardly breathe. This staircase is the exact opposite. It is the architectural unspooling of your anxiety. With every rotation, it grows broader, slower, and infinitely more spacious. Place your hand on the smooth marble handrail. It is cool to the touch, grounding you to the physical present. Take your first step down. In the mathematics of the Fibonacci sequence, every number is the sum of the two that came before it. It starts small. It starts close together. But as it grows, the space between the numbers expands exponentially. We are going to use this mathematical expansion to physically slow down your racing heart. 1. You take the first step. The curve of the stair is relatively tight here at the top. 1. You take the second step. The pacing is familiar, mimicking the normal, waking rhythm of your day. 2. You take 2 steps down the smooth white marble. 3. You take 3 more steps. Listen to the sound of your footfalls on the stone. Step, step, step. Now the math begins to expand, and the architecture expands with it. As you move into the next sequence of 5, you realize that the marble steps themselves are physically growing wider and deeper. You cannot walk quickly anymore. The architecture simply will not allow it. To navigate these wider steps, you are forced to slow your pace. You are forced to stretch your stride. Step, step, step. The rushed, frantic urgency of your day is being forcibly drawn out, stretched into a long, slow, luxurious cadence. Now you enter the curve of 8. The stairs are massive now. The sweeping arc of the marble is so wide that it feels like you are walking across a gentle, sloping plaza rather than a staircase. With this physical expansion comes a profound physiological shift. Because your steps have slowed down to navigate the wide marble, your breath naturally deepens to match the geometry. Inhale as you step onto the vast, cool stone. Feel your rib cage expand, mimicking the widening spiral of the room. Exhale as you sink your weight into the step. Let the heavy, invisible burden of your day drop from your shoulders and cascade down the marble stairs into the dark. You are descending. You are dropping beneath the surface of the waking mind. At the top of the stairs, your brain was operating in alpha, alert, conscious, and processing the day. But as the spiral widens, the frequency of your brain waves stretches out, mirroring the math. The sharp, tight spikes of your active thoughts flatten into the long, slow, rolling waves of theta. You are entering the borderland of sleep. The low, resonant hum of the crystal bowl vibrating at 432 hertz follows you down. As you descend, the acoustics of the spiral catch the sound, softening it, making it heavier and deeper. It vibrates in your heavy limbs. Your legs feel like lead. They are pleasantly, deeply exhausted by the descent. Your arms hang loosely at your sides, devoid of any tension. The muscles in your neck and jaw completely yield to the downward pull of gravity. The sequence continues to expand into the dark. 13, 21, 34. You do not need to count them. You do not need to hold the numbers in your head. The temple is holding the math for you. The structure is doing all the work. You simply have to yield to the descent. You are drifting down a flawless, mathematically perfect whirlpool of peace. Every rotation pulls you further away from the noise, the chaos, and the asymmetric friction of the world above. The light is growing softer. The air is growing heavier. Finally, the grand, sweeping curve of the white marble gently levels out. The spiral has reached its base. You step off the final, massive stone stair and onto the floor of a vast, silent, domed chamber. The descent is complete. You have arrived at the deepest level of the golden labyrinth, ready to look upon the blueprint of creation. You step off the final, sweeping curve of the white marble staircase. The long, hypnotic descent has carried you deep into the insulated, silent core of the earth. You are standing on the floor of a vast, circular chamber. The air here is perfectly still, holding the heavy, comforting temperature of a sanctuary that has not been disturbed by the chaotic weather of the surface for millennia. In the exact center of this magnificent room rests a wide, smooth, circular dais carved from a single piece of dark, polished stone. Walk slowly toward it. Your legs feel incredibly heavy, pleasantly exhausted from the descent. You do not need to stand guard anymore. You do not need to hold yourself upright. Lower your heavy body onto the stone platform. As you lie flat on your back, the solid, unyielding surface contours perfectly to support your spine. It takes on the entire burden of your physical weight. Let your arms fall limply to your sides. Let your heavy head rest against the cool stone. Now, open your eyes to the massive dome above you. The ceiling is not a dark, empty void. It is illuminated by a breathtaking, complex lattice of pure, soft, golden light. It is the flower of life. Hundreds of perfectly proportioned, overlapping circles stretch across the vast expanse of the dome. They are not painted. They are woven from pure, glowing energy, emitting a slow, rhythmic, pulsing light that washes over your resting body. In the waking world, your mind is plagued by open loops, the unfinished project you left on your desk, the email you forgot to send, the complicated conversation that ended abruptly, the unpredictable, messy variables of tomorrow's schedule. Psychology tells us that the human brain cannot easily let go of incomplete tasks. It holds on to them. It fixates on them. It leaves these cognitive tabs open in the background of your mind, draining your mental battery and creating a jagged, asymmetrical stress that keeps you awake. You lie in bed, desperately trying to tie up 100 loose ends that simply cannot be tied until the sun comes up. But look at the glowing dome above you. Trace the majestic, golden geometry with your eyes. In the flower of life, there are no loose ends. There are no open loops. And there are absolutely no jagged edges. Every single arc is a necessary part of a perfect circle. And every single circle intersects flawlessly with the exact center of the circles around it. It is a blueprint of absolute cosmic completion. As you stare into the glowing, interlocking pattern, we are going to close the loops of your day. Bring to mind the most frustrating, unfinished task that has been keeping you awake. The thought that you cannot seem to shake. Imagine it as a jagged, broken line hovering in your mind. Now, watch as one of the golden circles on the ceiling slowly illuminates, pulsing with a brighter, warmer light directly above you. Imagine placing that broken, unfinished task directly into the center of that perfect circle. Watch what the mathematics of the temple do. The sacred geometry immediately absorbs the chaos. The jagged line bends, smooths out, and seamlessly connects to itself, forming a flawless, closed loop. Feel the immediate, profound release in your chest as this happens. The subconscious mind, seeing the closed circle, receives the ultimate, undeniable signal of safety. The task is complete. There is nothing left to solve tonight. Let us continue. Inhale. Draw the soft, pulsing golden light deep into your heavy mind. exhale and close another loop. The conversation you keep replaying. Close the circle. Watch it smooth out and lock into the lattice. The anxiety of what you have to do tomorrow. Close the circle. Watch it integrate flawlessly into the glowing dome. The heavy expectations of other people. Close the circle. One by one, the magnificent geometry of the ceiling absorbs your chaotic, unfinished thoughts, locking them securely into a mathematically perfect pattern. You begin to see how everything connects. The isolated problems of your life are not actually isolated. They are just tiny, overlapping arcs in a grand, flawless design. You do not need to understand the whole pattern. You only need to trust the math. As the last open loop is finally closed, a wave of immense physical relief washes over your brain. The cognitive engine finally powers down. The analytical mind goes completely quiet. There is absolutely nothing left to figure out. Everything is securely filed away in the geometry of the temple. The golden circles above you begin to pulse slower, matching the heavy, rolling rhythm of your delta brainwaves. You are completely safe, and you are beautifully empty. But to achieve total, restorative paralysis, you must ground the final remnants of your physical form. The geometry of the room is about to shift. It is time for the Platonic solids. The golden lattice of the flower of life above you begins to subtly shift. The two-dimensional circles, having closed every open loop in your mind, slowly begin to detach from the dome. They drift downward into the vast, open air of the silent chamber. As they descend, they transform. They fold, intersect, and lock together, taking on profound three-dimensional weight and structure. Suspended in the quiet darkness just above your resting body, 5 luminous, perfect geometric shapes materialize. These are the Platonic solids. They are the absolute, undeniable mathematical building blocks of all physical matter in the universe. The tetrahedron, the hexahedron, the octahedron, the icosahedron, and the dodecahedron. They hang in the dark, rotating with flawless, silent precision. Your mind is already empty and at peace, but your physical body still holds the residual biological exhaustion of the day. To cross the threshold into deep, restorative sleep, we must induce a state of heavy, comforting physical paralysis. We will do this by translating your physical body into pure, immovable geometry. The first shape drifts downward, hovering just above your chest. The hexahedron, a perfect, flawless cube made of deep, luminous amber. In the ancient language of sacred geometry, the cube represents the element of earth. It is the ultimate symbol of foundation, structural integrity, and immovable weight. Bring your awareness to your skeletal system. Your bones are the scaffolding of your waking life, constantly working against gravity to hold you upright. Imagine the immense, heavy density of the cube transferring directly into your bones. Feel your heavy skull, your spine, and your broad pelvis become incredibly dense. They are no longer fragile biological structures. They are heavy, solid blocks of resting stone. Your arms and legs turn to lead. They lock perfectly into place on the dark dais. Your physical form absorbs the geometry of the cube. You are structurally sound. You are completely immovable. Heavy, dense, safe. The next shape drifts closer, aligning with your center. The icosahedron, a complex, beautiful sphere woven from 20 perfect triangles, glowing with a cool, deep sapphire light. This shape represents the element of water. It governs flow, circulation, and liquid harmony. Bring your faint attention to the liquid systems of your body. The blood moving through your veins, the heavy fluid resting in your joints. As the sapphire shape slowly turns, it acts as a magnetic regulator. Feel the turbulent, anxious currents of your waking body calm down into a slow, majestic, icy river. Your heart rate matches the unhurried, flawless rotation of the geometry. The fluid in your body pools heavily, completely at rest. The frantic rushing has stopped. Above your face, the octahedron begins to turn. Two perfect pyramids joined at their base, glowing in a pale, translucent silver. It is the element of air. It aligns precisely with your lungs. You no longer have to consciously manage your breathing. The spinning geometry takes over. With every slow rotation, your breath becomes perfectly, mathematically symmetrical. The duration of the inhale exactly matches the duration of the exhale. There is zero effort. The silver shape breathes for you, acting as a flawless, silent metronome. Next, the tetrahedron, a sharp, glowing ruby pyramid, absorbs the residual, nervous electricity of your body. It represents fire, the rapid firing of your synapses, the anxious heat of your muscles, the nervous twitching of exhausted nerves. All of it is drawn up and safely contained within the spinning ruby geometry. It pulls the heat out of your physical form, leaving your skin perfectly cool, beautifully numb, and deeply sedated. Finally, the dodecahedron, 12 perfect pentagons glowing in soft, pure gold. encompasses them all. It represents the ether, the divine container of the universe. It expands to wrap entirely around your heavy, paralyzed form. It acts as a flawless, impenetrable geometric shield. Your body is no longer a chaotic, biological organism subject to exhaustion, pain, or restless movement. You have translated your physical sensation entirely into math. Your limbs are symmetrical weights anchored to the earth. Your circulation is a calculated, slow-moving river. Your breath is an equation balanced perfectly to zero. You are deeply, profoundly paralyzed by the safety of the structure. There is no physical tension left, because there is nowhere for tension to hide inside perfect symmetry. You are anchored. You are locked into the absolute center of the temple. The physical world has been completely managed. Now it is time to dissolve the scale of your reality. It is time to enter the fractal void. Your physical form has been completely translated into the silent, immovable language of the Platonic solids. You are anchored to the dark stone dais, a heavy monument of perfect symmetry. Your limbs are made of earth. Your circulation is a slow-moving river, and your breath is a flawless equation. There is no biological tension left for your mind to manage. With the body completely paralyzed in comfort, your awareness is now free to detach from its physical shell. It rises gently, hovering just above your resting face, drawn upward toward the magnificent, glowing, geometric shield that surrounds you. As you look closely at the glowing golden lines of the dodecahedron, you notice something profound. The geometry is not solid. The thick, glowing lines of light are not singular beams. As your perspective drifts closer, you realize that the massive lines are actually made up of thousands of smaller, perfectly formed geometric shapes. And as you focus on one of those smaller shapes, you see that it, too, is constructed from an even smaller, identical pattern. The geometry begins to multiply. You are entering the fractal void. Slowly, the entire visual field of your mind begins to zoom inward. It is a smooth, continuous, infinite descent into the microscopic architecture of the universe. You pass through the outer wall of a glowing golden triangle, only to find yourself inside a vast, echoing chamber made of millions of identical, smaller triangles. You pass through the floor of that chamber, diving deeper, entering another microscopic universe built of the exact same flawless math, zooming inward, deeper and deeper, smaller and smaller. In the waking world, a fractal is a never-ending pattern. It is infinitely complex, yet entirely self-similar across different scales. It is the repeating frost on a winter window pane, the branching of an ancient tree, the endless, jagged coastline of a continent. It proves that the universe does not make mistakes. It simply repeats its perfection on a scale too vast and too microscopic for the human eye to see. As you watch this glowing, three-dimensional fractal zoom endlessly inward, let us dissolve the scale of your waking life. Think about the problems that felt so massive to you today. The heavy expectations, the looming deadlines, the social friction, the urgent, frantic emergencies of the modern world. When you are trapped in the waking hours, those problems feel colossal. They take up your entire field of vision. They block out the sun because you are standing far too close to them. You believe your ego is the center of the universe, and therefore your problems must be the center of the universe. But watch what happens as you fall into the infinite fractal. Imagine taking your heaviest worry and placing it on one of the glowing geometric lines. As the fractal zooms inward, multiplying by the thousands, your massive problem suddenly shrinks. It becomes a tiny, insignificant speck resting on a single, microscopic thread of gold. As the zoom continues, diving deeper into the next layer of infinity, your problem becomes an atom. And then it vanishes entirely. Your problems are not mathematically significant. They are infinitesimally small. The universe is an infinite, echoing chamber of perfect order, and the chaotic noise of your day simply does not register on this scale. Feel the profound, overwhelming relief of your own insignificance. You do not have to hold the world together. The math is already holding the world together. You are allowed to be small. You are allowed to let go. Your analytical mind, the tireless engine that loves to solve puzzles, tries to follow the fractal. It tries to track the multiplying shapes. It tries to count the triangles, to predict the next layer, to find the bottom of the descent. But there is no bottom. The pattern is infinite. Watch the glowing geometry fold inward, over and over and over again. Endless loops, flawless repetition, infinite depth. Slowly, the analytical engine begins to tire. The conscious brain realizes that it cannot process infinity. It cannot solve a puzzle that has no end. The sheer, magnificent scale of the fractal overwhelms your cognitive bandwidth. This is the ultimate, peaceful surrender. Your mind simply gives up. It realizes that it does not need to understand the pattern. It only needs to rest inside it. The frantic desire to control, to predict, and to analyze is washed away by a wave of profound, heavy, cognitive fatigue. The screen of your mind is completely filled with a soothing, hypnotic screensaver of endless golden geometry. You stop trying to count. You stop trying to look. Your awareness softens, blurring the sharp edges of the fractal into a smooth, glowing sea of light. You are exhausted in the most beautiful, mathematically perfect way. The scale of the waking world has been dissolved. You are floating in the microscopic void, perfectly primed for the final journey into the center point. Your analytical mind has surrendered to the infinite. The exhausting effort of processing the vast, complex architecture of the fractal void has beautifully, heavily overwhelmed your cognitive limits. The glowing, multiplying geometry that filled your vision now begins to soften. The sharp, interlocking triangles and endless echoing chambers slowly lose their intense luminosity. They blur, gently fading into a deep, velvety darkness. The universe is simplifying itself for your rest. As the complex lattice fades away, it leaves behind only a single, pure element in the vast expanse of the dark. A single, glowing thread of pale gold. It does not form a hard angle. It does not intersect with anything else. It is a single, continuous, elegant curve, tracing the exact path of the golden spiral. This is the Fibonacci sequence distilled into its purest visual form. It is the path home. In the earlier hours of the night, your mind was scattered across 1,000 different thoughts, spread wide over the chaotic landscape of your waking life. But deep sleep requires a singular focus. It requires the gentle gathering of all that scattered energy into one quiet point. Bring the heavy, tired focus of your mind's eye to the very beginning of the golden thread. Begin to follow it. The outer edge of the spiral is wide and sweeping. As your awareness glides along the smooth, glowing curve, the motion is incredibly slow. You are drifting along the gentle arc, moving gradually inward. With every degree that the spiral turns, the ambient noise of your own consciousness grows quieter. The peripheral distractions, the faint memories of the day, the lingering sensations in your heavy, paralyzed body, begin to fall away into the blackness on either side of the golden line. You are no longer aware of the temple walls, the obsidian floor, or the vast distance you have traveled. There is only the curve. Follow the line as it makes its first full rotation inward. Curve, drift, sink. The path is getting tighter now. The sweeping arc becomes a gentle circle, drawing you closer to the absolute center. But as the physical space of the spiral condenses, the perception of time within it begins to stretch and dilate. The closer you get to the center, the slower you move. In the waking world, when things spin, they create chaos. A spinning, anxious mind is a hurricane, pulling in debris, moving faster and faster until it is completely out of control. But this spiral is the exact inverse of a hurricane. It is the sacred geometry of stillness. You are not being thrown outward by centrifugal force. You are being drawn safely, inevitably, into the eye of the storm. And in the exact center of this storm, there is zero movement. There is absolute peace. Trace the golden line as it makes its next rotation. Smaller, slower. Curve, drift, sink. Your awareness is narrowing perfectly. The wide, expansive focus you used to navigate your day has been entirely shut down. Your vision is shrinking down to a pinpoint. The dark void around the golden thread grows heavier, pressing inward, forming a soft, protective tunnel that blocks out the rest of the universe. You are approaching the center point. The rotations are microscopic now. They take an eternity to complete. The golden thread loops gently around a single, infinitesimal dot in the very center of the geometry, the 0 point. This dot is not made of light. It is made of pure, absolute, flawless blackness. It is the singularity of sleep. It is the exact mathematical coordinate where all equations balance out to 0, where all energy is conserved, where nothing is created and nothing is destroyed. It is the precise location of complete unconsciousness. Your tired awareness reaches the very end of the golden thread. It touches the edge of the 0 point. There is no fear here. There is only the profound, comforting, gravitational pull of total rest. Look directly into that microscopic point of blackness. Let it expand to fill the tiny remnant of your focus. Let it pull you in. The final rotation is complete. The golden spiral has guided you flawlessly to the exact center of your own mind. There are no more shapes. There are no more numbers. There are no more thoughts. You are resting perfectly on the point of origin. The golden thread softly blinks out, and you are ready for the dark. As you cross the final, infinitesimal threshold of the center point, the last glowing thread of gold blinks out of existence. The magnificent, sweeping architecture of the golden labyrinth has served its purpose. The infinite obsidian corridors the expanding white marble stairs, the luminous interlocking circles of the flower of life, and the heavy anchoring geometry of the Platonic solids. All of it was simply the scaffolding your mind required to climb down safely from the chaotic heights of the waking world. But now that you have reached the absolute foundation, the scaffolding is no longer needed. Watch as the invisible walls of the temple gently dissolve away, leaving you entirely suspended in the flawless, velvety dark. You have arrived at the 0 point. In the waking world, your analytical mind often fears emptiness. It views a void as a problem that must immediately be solved, an empty space that must be filled with a schedule, a worry, a conversation, or a plan. Your brain works tirelessly to ensure that there is always a calculation running in the background. But this emptiness is profoundly different. It is not a lack of something. It is mathematically complete. It is the number 0. It holds absolute, unquestionable value because it represents perfect equilibrium. It is not missing anything. It is simply, completely at rest. Feel the physical sensation of this perfect 0. Your heavy, paralyzed body has merged so seamlessly with the dark that it is now completely undetectable to your conscious mind. You cannot feel where your skin ends and the void begins. You are not floating, and you are not falling. To fall requires gravity, and to float requires a current. But here in the center, the forces of the universe are perfectly equalized in every direction. You are simply, beautifully held in place. Listen to the silence. Even the deep, resonant, rolling hum of the crystal bowl has faded into the blackness. There is no acoustic vibration left to process. The silence here is not fragile. It is incredibly dense. It is a thick, acoustic armor that wraps around your sleeping form, ensuring that the jagged, unpredictable noises of the outside world cannot reach you. The brilliant, restless engine of your analytical mind has finally, mercifully powered down. The exhausting compulsion to measure the hours, to categorize your memories, to solve tomorrow's puzzles, and to constantly protect yourself has been entirely deactivated. There are no variables left to balance. The grand, complicated equation of your day has been fully solved, and the final answer is 0. You have been granted the ultimate permission to stop working. You do not have to hold your life together right now. The flawless, unseen mathematics of the universe are holding everything together for you. The planets will continue their precise, elliptical orbits. The Fibonacci spirals will continue to unfold in the dark forests above. The physics of the earth will remain absolutely stable. The universe does not require your supervision to function. You are allowed to simply exist. Without effort, without output, without a waking identity. Your brainwaves have smoothed out completely into the long, slow, oceanic rhythm of deep delta sleep. Rise and fall. Rise and fall. They mimic the slow, ancient, predictable pulse of the cosmos itself. You are perfectly synchronized with the quiet mechanics of creation. There is no friction. There is no resistance. You will remain in this flawless, unblemished dark for the rest of the night. If a stray, anxious thought attempts to form in the hours to come, it will find no geometry to latch onto. It will find no open loops to snag. It will simply slide off the perfect, smooth surface of the void and dissolve instantly back into the blackness. The invisible structure of the golden labyrinth stands as an impenetrable, mathematical shield around your rest. You do not have to keep watch. You are perfectly protected. There is nothing left to achieve. The golden lines have faded, and the geometry is at rest. Your open loops are closed, and your equations are balanced. You are perfectly suspended in the center of the void. There is nothing left to solve, and nowhere left to go. The math is silent. Your journey is complete. Sleep in the flawless architecture of the dark. Sleep in the 0 point.